Teaching your dogs respect around the door. The very first thing is teaching them that the front door to not run out of it, because I have had a few people that their dogs have run out and got hit by cars, and that's a scary thing. Or they escape and run off and then you can't find them. That first comes with practicing opening the door just a little bit and correcting them and making them stay back a couple feet. If you teach them from the beginning that your space, the door, belongs to you and that they're not supposed to be in that space, it's really good to teach them to respect that space, so that they know even if the door's open, if you didn't give them the go ahead, that they stay back. That also leads into when people come to the door, that they're not rushing whoever is at the door, and eventually the excitement of that turns into aggression. A lot of puppies learn from the get-go. Friends come over, they hear the doorbell, they hear the knock on the door, and as soon as people come in the house, their first response is, "Oh my gosh, a puppy!" And they are hyper. It's a heightened sound, and typically there's a lot of affection and excitement. And right there, you are teaching your puppy that the sound of a knock on the door and the sound of the doorbell leads to excitement. Also, letting them be all up in the space and sniffing the people and all that stuff is really bad manners, and you're teaching them to have a very excited reaction to the door and the doorbell. A lot of people compliment when they come to my house, they do not hear dogs barking. My doorbell and knocking on the door means nothing in my house. I always have babies sleeping, and Amazon comes to my house all the time. So if I have dogs barking all the time in my house, I will never have a napping child. So I've worked with my dogs that doesn't mean anything to them. So when you have friends come over, it is okay to tell them to just kind of ignore your puppy when they come in for the first little while. They'll be excited. It's a new person, and they'll waddle around and they'll probably jump on their feet and that kind of thing. And don't let anyone give the pup attention until they seem to be in a calm, submissive state. Either they go sit down, or they lay down, or they're looking directly at you because they're waiting for you to give them attention respectfully. Doing that will teach you, you'll have an adult dog that doesn't go psycho when people come in the house. Excitement almost always turns into a form of sort of aggression. I'm sure some of you have seen or have had schnauzers that rush people when they come in the house or when they come to the door, and it's bark, 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 bark. Schnauzers are very in your face. So even though you're like, they're friendly, they won't bite you, but they seem really aggressive, it's because the excitement is turning that way. If you teach your puppy from the very beginning that it doesn't get attention unless it's in a calm, submissive state, you will completely prevent having an adult that rushes people, growls at people, barks at people, and gets crazy. They learn that they get attention from people by being calm. That's also applied if the puppy's in the crate when you come home from the grocery store. You know how they get very excited. Typically there's lots of barking and psychoness and jumping and crazy because they're so excited you're home and yada, yada, yada. Ignore them. When they are calm, you go and open the crate. Hi, how are you? Love on them all you want. If you do that from the beginning, you will not have an adult dog that goes psycho when you come home. The jumping on your leg, jump, 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 how they go crazy when you come home. If you are fine with that kind of stuff, that's totally fine, but it is all learned from puppy. You can prevent your adult dog from doing that if you just do these few things. Never give them attention when they are being hyper. They are jumping on you, if they're barking at you, if they're being crazy. This goes to anyone that comes in your house. These are the rules. Do not even pay attention to them. Act like they aren't there. They will learn real fast. And all of a sudden you'll see that they are sitting and they are looking up at you and they're waiting. What do you want from me? And that's when you can give them attention. They learn it really fast. But the excitement and the aggression and the craziness, they learn from us because we do things a little out of order and we don't really pay attention to what we're teaching them. So I think that's it for the training stuff. You're going to want to keep your puppy inside until they've had all 3 of their booster shots. That gives them sufficient time to really bond with you. Teaching them to walk on a leash is a lot easier when they're already following you around. Once that happens, then go ahead and start taking them off on a leash. If you have another dog, don't take them out a lot. Parvo's the worst thing that your puppy can get, and there's nothing really the vet can do other than give your dog some fluids and hope that they make it through it. It's not rampant out here, but it is just better safe than sorry. They can pick that up by walking anywhere a dog with it has gone to the bathroom, which you never know where a dog's gone to the bathroom. All they got to do is sniff, and they can pick it up and bring it home to your puppy that doesn't have immunity. So if you're taking them to friends' houses or anything like that, which COVID-19, probably a lot of you aren't doing that, just don't do that if they have dogs that they take out all the time. So keep them home until those shots. And then after that, start taking them out on walks all the time. Socializing them outside is one of the best things that you can do. Your typical Schnauzer, if you keep them in the house for the first year, they are going to be the dog that goes crazy nutters. They're the mighty little big dog, and they will bark at everything that they see because it's stuff that they're not used to. Or they'll be on the flip side, they'll be very timid, and then they may be slightly aggressive because they're nervous and they're scared of things. If you continue socializing them and taking them out as pups, you will find that rides in the car, going to the vet's office, going to the groomer, going on walks, all that stuff is really hassle-free. Obviously, you're going to need to correct them. In the beginning, their bark is super cute. I know that it is adorable. But if you don't want them barking in the house, or you don't want them barking at other dogs or barking at people, it is something that you need to correct. When they do it, just a stern no and correct them. You'll find that you sometimes only have to correct them a few times and then they learn. That's something that we don't do. But if you miss it and you allow them to turn into an adult that now has a full-blown issue with it, it's a lot harder to fix an issue that is established in them. Okay, I'm going to go over some of the handling stuff that I do with them. I'm sure some of you have wondered why in the videos sometimes I'm like flipping them upside down and that kind of stuff. This little chubby here is Opal. This is one of Oakley's puppies. And I handle all of mine from the beginning. A lot of my adults, people see us handle them sometimes and they're like, oh my gosh, you can pick them up. I can flip some of them on their backs and they don't care because I did it with them since they were puppies. They're used to being handled. So they just don't care as an adult. So if you want a super easy handled adult that lets you do whatever you want to it, especially with cuddling and stuff, if you keep up doing some of these handling techniques with your puppy, they grow into adult that doesn't care about being on their back, being held in the air, messing with them and all kinds of stuff. This helps with a lot of things. So all of our pups, and some of them are better than others. So you'll see, like, there you go. So she's calm. If she's not, she's going to be like sticking her feet out crazy, but they're totally relaxed right now. She's just hanging down. She is used to being held on her back. So you see how easy her little transition is. Her feet are nice and soft. She's not crazy. She trusts me. She knows that I've done this with her before. Look, there you go. So she's used to being held on her back. I have some of my adults that you can still hold them like babies like this. I have some, I can hold them out on my hand like this, and I could drop them on the floor and they wouldn't even flinch because they are so used to being handled like this. They trust me so much. So she's used to being handled this way, and you can see how she relaxes, and her legs will kind of come up when you're moving, and then when I start holding her again, they'll relax down again. So if you continue practicing each day, holding your pup on their back just until they're calm, it can be like a 30-second thing. They will grow into an adult that does not care when you pick them up, if they're laying on their back or what. Most dogs do, like adults, when you pick them up, even puppies, when they're not handled a ton, they do the kind of like the bird thing with their feet, and they're freaking out with their paws. Most of my pups do really well with this because they've been handled so much. So if you keep doing this stuff with them, you have an adult dog that will let you just do all this stuff. Like, she just doesn't care. Yeah, you're like, that's crazy. So this comes into play for your groomer. She is used to having her head moved up and down. When I'm grooming, I am moving their face everywhere. I move it to the side while I groom their neck this way. I move it to this side while I groom it that way. We pull the nose down to pull this taunt. We pull it up to shave their throat. So she gets used to all of that. I pick them up to shave their bellies like this sometimes. All of that. She's used to her ears being played with too. That comes in cue because your groomer cleans their ears if you need to clean their ears. So playing with their ears a lot helps. She's used to her mouth being played with too. You can see she's used to it being opened. She's used to me putting my fingers in there. I have to administer wormer and stuff to her, so she's used to that. When you do heartworm, if you get the pills, you have to put those down their throat. So that helps if they're comfortable with your mouth. Also, if you're going to be really diligent and brush your puppy's teeth, You're going to want to keep messing with their mouth. Like right now, she's so good with me doing her teeth. So my vet recommends using you can just use like a gauze, wrap it around your finger, and you can just brush their teeth right here, pull the lips up on this side, brush right there, and you're done. Or if you guys get some of the toothpastes, they have the organic ones. They're supposed to be healthier, so there's no chemicals in them. Schnauzers have bad teeth, so it's just, some are better than others, but most of them aren't heavy chewers and their teeth just go bad. Especially if your dog is eating kibble, you're gonna wanna get their teeth cleaned by your vet, usually every 2 years, unless you are brushing them regularly. So if you keep that up with their mouth, you will have an adult that will let you brush your teeth. That makes things really great. So right now she's already used to that. Almost all my puppies are. So that helps in a lot of different areas. As far as even the legs, messing with the legs, if you're brushing your dog regularly, I know a lot of people that say that their schnauzers absolutely hate to be brushed. Typically that's because they aren't messed with as puppies. They aren't brushed very much. And the only time they get brushed is when they're taken to the groomer, and the groomer has to rip the mats out or shave them. It's not comfortable. Have you ever had someone pull a comb through your hair when you have knots in it? It hurts. So I recommend brushing your puppy at least 2 to 3 times a week. It can be really fast. On a lot of mine, you can put your legs out like this, put them on their back. They're used to being on their back. Take your comb. I start with the thick end. I brush down first. Then I take the thinner side, brush down, then backwards, back. I'm a cosmetologist, so I firmly believe in brushing your dog to keep their coat nice and beautiful, and shampooing and conditioning. Anything with oatmeal is really good. Schnauzers tend to have they have more human-like skin, so it can get dried out really easily and get a little flaky. So oatmeal typically helps with that. And always condition. Get a conditioner for your puppies, please. It makes their hair healthier. It returns some of those oils that you strip out that they need. Do you see how comfortable she is with this? If you did this with your pup just a couple times a week, or even once a day for the first couple weeks, do you see how relaxed that she is? She is just totally at ease here. She thinks that she's getting a spa day. She's just totally comfortable. And if her family continues to do this with her, she will be a full-grown adult. I have some that they already tell me now that they pull a comb out and the dogs come running because they're so excited for their spa day. So they've been started right. If you keep up with these things, you will have an amazing adult that people will be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they let you do that with them. I can't believe how easy they are to handle, that you can brush their teeth, that you can comb them. Your groomer will love you. If you have a dog that's not trying to bite them and growl at them and attack them because they hate everything that they're doing. So I've done my best to start them right. I've groomed all of them, and almost all of them do fantastic. Actually, all of them do. I really rarely have ones, and if anything, they're just a little playful, but the experience has been great for them. I use my shop vac around them, so I've done my best to start them out right. They're used to being around my kids and that kind of stuff, so they've been exposed to quite a bit. And if you guys continue moving forward and continue to expose them to new things in a good way and keep up good habits, you will have a wonderful, well-adjusted dog that you can brag about. There you go. All right, Jada, come here. To kind of show you guys what the adult version of all that puppy handling with. Come here, you're not in trouble. Come here, Jada. You're so funny. Come on. Okay, so this is Jada. When she's what? Oh gosh, you're almost like 9, I think. When she's a puppy, I handled her the way that I handle all of our pups now. For those of you that are getting Cinder puppies, Jada is Cinder's mama. Don't judge her. She's shaved naked like a naked rat. But Miss Jetta, I can't think, I don't handle her like I do the puppies all the time anymore, but she was handled like that as a puppy. So I'll show you what it looks like when you handle the puppies like that until they're adults. So she'll let me flip her over. She does not care about being on her back. You can see she does the same thing that the puppies do. can set her down. She'll let you roll her around on the floor. She's literally doesn't care about her arms and her legs. And to my knowledge, she'll let just about anyone do this, because when our family members come over and stuff, she lets all of them hold her like that too. But she, yeah. I used to walk around with her and I would hold her like this in my one arm, and I could carry her around the house, and she'll literally just sit in your arms like this. But she will totally let you do that. And it's just totally at ease like that. So probably because we cuddled her too much like she was a baby, but it doesn't bother her. I can flip her over on her back while I'm grooming her on the grooming table, and she'll let me brush her legs and literally groom her this way too. She's so comfortable this way. Yeah. And same thing, the mouth and all of that stuff. Can you see that? I messed with her mouth when she was a pup too, the same way. So she still will let me do anything I want with her teeth, open her mouth, and she's totally fine with it. She's super patient. So I've had to shove heartworm down her throat before because she did not want to swallow it, and she's totally fine. She lets me do anything I want with her mouth, which still comes in handy too when I'm trimming her beard and all that stuff, and she's super great. She'll bend and let me do whatever I want with her. So it makes grooming easy. That makes giving her heartworm medicine easy. And everybody loves when they come to our house and they're like, can you pick her up? And I'm like, yeah, you can pick her up. And when you pick her right up into the air, there's no flailing legs, no nothing. She'll let you just do whatever you want with her. So that's kind of to show you what that looks like as an adult. The super cuddly dog that everybody thinks is so fun. Yeah. And it's good for kids too. They get used to, because kids tug on them and do all kinds of stuff to them. So when they're used to adults doing it, then they're fine when kids do it too.